Hey all you Simonites, it's Simaan, owner and broker of the Simaan Group right here in beautiful Orlando, Florida. Today we got a special edition for you, Mythbusters Orlando Real Estate Edition. If you haven't subscribed to my channel, why not? It's the coolest thing on YouTube. I'm better than sliced bread, and that's a fact, guys. Let's check out topic number one. Come on. That's actually a fact, guys. Did you know that in Central Florida, the farthest neighborhood is within a 15 to 20 mile radius from the major theme parks that include SeaWorld, Universal Studios Resort, and Walt Disney World? Here's also another fun fact, guys. In the late 80s and early 90s, Walt Disney World had their own money. You don't believe me? Well, I grew up in Orlando. I've been here for 40 years. Check it out, guys. Mickey Mouse is on the dollar, and Scrooge McDuck actually endorsed. That's his signature right there. Who, may you ask, is on number 5? Goofy, my man. I love Goofy. He's one of my favorites. On to myth number 2. It's actually partially true and false at the same time. Now, there is a license plate in Florida that has endless summers for a reason. It is a sunshine state after all, guys. But it's not that hot most of the year. The hottest times are June, July, and August, where it can reach the highs up to 92. However, in the winter months, it can get up to 72 on the highs, which is absolutely perfect. That gives you 9 months of enjoying beautiful weather in Florida that's actually not that hot. On to number 3. That's a myth, guys. You don't have to be a tourist to enjoy Orlando. They have plenty of year-round activities that you're going to absolutely love. You have thousands of restaurants, plenty of shopping, great indoor and outdoor activities. You can go to an event like Monster Jam or Orlando City Soccer, or plenty of concerts at the Amway Center. They also have parks, gardens, you name it, and take it from me, go to the beach. It's just an hour away. You can get a yearly pass for $100 to check out Daytona and New Smyrna. Why do you want to go there? Well, hour away, and you get to park your car on the beach. Put up your tent, have a little barbecue, enjoy, play in the water, build a sandcastle, and you'll be back in Orlando before rush hour begins. On to the next one, guys. That's a myth, guys. Hurricanes are not a constant threat in Central Florida. And I'll tell you why. There's a reason Walt Disney chose this location for his billion-dollar theme park. It's because hurricanes tend to die down when they hit land. Yes, Florida does get hurricanes, just like the Caribbean and everything else, but hurricane season is from June to November. Some years we don't get any hurricanes. Some years we might get 4 or 5. Some years we might get 1. It just depends. But with good quality construction, because they change the code every couple of years, you're going to be great. Homes are built and designed to withstand high winds. What can you do if you have an existing home? Well, you can always further enhance it and make it stronger to withstand high winds. You can do hurricane straps. You can change out the windows, reinforce the roof, do other things. If you lose power, you can always put a generator. I have a natural gas generator at my home. The biggest threat actually are trees. So I recommend every single year do a hurricane trim, which a tree trimmer comes to your home and checks all your trees to make sure all the dead branches are cut and your trees are healthy, guys. On to the next one. Let's go. Well, that really depends on you. Stop going around and around and around like this airplane here, and know what you want. What are your goals? Everyone is different, whether you should buy or rent your home. For example, if you're coming to Orlando only for a year, you might want to just rent. Or you can always buy and then rent after as an investment, that property. But if you're going to stay here for 5 to 7 years, why pay someone else's mortgage? The numbers just don't make any sense. So it really depends on you whether it's the right time to buy or rent. But I'll be here to guide you. On to the next one. Well, that would be a myth, guys. Orlando real estate is not always expensive. You don't have to be cutting coupons, figuring out what to do when you hire the right realtor like myself. Now, the lowest home in Orlando in the past 6 months actually sold for $35,000. The most expensive home sold for $7.2 million in Orlando, and the average home out of all those 5,000 plus sales was about $440,000. What I'm trying to tell you is Orlando has lots of options depending on how much you want to spend. Now, I'm going to continue to cut these coupons, but in the meantime, let's go to the next one. That would be a myth, but these flowers do smell really good in the springtime. Now, let's discuss this topic. If you're a seller, it's a good time to sell any time of the year because it depends on what you want, right? But statistically, in real estate nationwide, sellers get the most money in the month of May. Why? Because families, buyers typically relocate because they want to get in schools before that season starts. So that's spring and early summer. Now, if you're a buyer, typically good deals are to be had in the winter months because that's the holidays. Inventory stays on the market longer. Everyone's occupied doing other stuff, and you can snag that right deal. The way that I feel about it, if you have the right realtor like myself, you can buy or sell any time of the year, and it's going to be a success. On to the next one. That would be a big myth, guys. You need to do an inspection. A lot of builders don't want you to do one. Why? Because it costs them more money to fix all the things that your inspector finds. Now, it's vital anywhere you live in this country, you always want to do a pre-drywall inspection. What is that? Well, when the whole entire home is framed out, the roof is on, electrical, plumbing, all that good stuff is tied in, you want to have your inspector check it at that time when it's a skeleton. Fun fact, you also want to take pictures and videos of all this stuff so you know where these utilities run in the house. If you ever want to hang a painting, do any structural modifications, it helps to see the home as a skeleton. Then you want to do the final inspection usually about a week before you actually close. This is where the inspector goes into the home, puts blue tape all over the place, and the builder has to complete these things before you close. You want to make sure that it's done before you close, because not all builders, but some builders, they're going to want to close regardless and get their money. Don't do that, guys. Have the upper hand. Do your inspection. Make sure it's on the punch list, and make sure the builder does it before closing. Another thing also, why you want to consider these inspections before you close. Well, once you sell that home 5 to 7, 3 years down the road or whatever, and that builder warranty is up in 1 year, guess what? That buyer, they're going to do a home inspection. And if you didn't do a home inspection during your new construction, no one's perfect. Turns out you're going to be the one suffering and paying for all these repairs when that buyer buys it. On to the next. That would be a huge myth. Don't think that, guys. There's a lot of reasons why you want to hire a realtor. If you're a buyer, why not? The seller's paying for all the realtor dues. You pay zero. Now, as a buyer, we're going to negotiate for your best interest. Always keep your interests in mind. Home inspections, loan process, making sure title's good to go, walk through. There's like 100 things that we're going to do to make sure this is an easy transaction for you guys. Now, if you're a seller, believe it or not, a lot of sellers who are FSBOs, meaning for sale by owners, 90% of those times they hire a realtor because they can't do it. There's a lot of dangers. Just how this globe is dangerous back in the 1950s. Do you have any idea what it is? Fun fact, for a cancer-causing product like cigarettes. Just like that, you want to make sure that you are safe and protected if you're a seller. Why are you going to let strangers walk into your home? Have a realtor. We're that buffer. We're that middleman. We're in between the buyer and the seller to make sure that deal goes smoothly. We're going to vet, make sure everyone's qualified to tour your home and they're not going to rob you the next day. Plus, we're going to take all the emotions out of it. We'll give you that honest feedback and make sure that it's a smooth transaction. A lot of the time, buyers, they feel uncomfortable dealing directly with sellers. You have great marketing, you have the experience and knowledge, and like I mentioned in my other videos, would you ever get on an airplane that a pilot only flew once a year? No. Our team, we handle over 120 transactions every single year, and out of all those transactions, we always get 5-star reviews. Check it out online. That's a fact. Next one. That would be a myth, guys, because if you don't know what you're doing, a foreclosure can cost you a lot of money and time. Now, we've done multiple foreclosures and short sales back in the day when they're very popular. Sometimes a foreclosure can take years to finalize. If it's a short sale, it can take a month, could take 6 months, could take a year. It just depends. Also, if you don't know what you're doing and you buy a foreclosure, there could be clouds on title where you're going to inherit all those things. What do I mean? Well, sometimes people have a first or second mortgage, so you want to make sure that whoever's foreclosing is that primary mortgage holder. If you're not, then you can be in some serious trouble, guys, if you're buying foreclosures on the courthouse steps. We recommend hiring a great realtor like myself and having an attorney if you decide to pursue these foreclosures. There's good deals everywhere to be had. Doesn't mean that this from the bank. You can always find a great deal if it's sitting on the market longer, if it's not priced correctly. So this one is definitely a myth. On to the next one. TikTok. That would be a fact, guys. Gated communities are generally a safer community because it adds an extra layer of protection. There are communities in Orlando that are guard gated 24 hours, partially guard gated, just gated, and some have a virtual guard that they use. Now, I have not lived in a gated community in a while, but I take extra precautions to ensure the safety of myself and my family. How? Nice ring system, alarm system, floodlights on the exterior. So there are ways you can protect your family and yourself if you take the right precautions. But yes, gated communities do add the extra layer of protection, which some clients prefer. On to the next one. Myth, 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 sell, sell, sell. Guys, the Orlando housing market historically has grown 3.2% every single year, but there's no question that during COVID, the property values has really increased. What does it mean for you? Well, there's still over 1,000 people moving to Central Florida every single week for a better lifestyle. So put your money in real estate. That's the safest investment, and we're going to continue to rise because Florida has the best beaches, the best weather, best attractions, the best of everything, and has the best realtor. On to the next one. That would be a myth. Everything is negotiable, especially with builders. What do I mean by that? Well, a lot of times when you use the builder's lender, for example, you get that extra seller credit. Now, you want to be wary, buyers, because in Florida, if you're a seller and you're selling your home, you pay for the doc stamps, the title insurance, but a builder pushes that just like this excavator, to the buyer to pay. So when you see that advertised builder credit of $10,000, what they really mean is you're paying for the closing costs at a normal resale. The seller would actually do that. You can also get allowances on upgrades, appliances, things like that. Look for homes that are already built in those communities that have been on the market for a while. Builders tend to push their inventory out, and you want to negotiate that better than a home that's going to be brand new built. So those are my facts, guys. Always negotiate with the builder. Don't give up. Their contracts are very one-sided, but hiring the right realtor will steer you right through in the right direction. On to the next one. Myth: realtor fees are not exorbitant. Why? It's the largest investment that you're going to do in your life for a lot of people. And not all deals happen smoothly, but having the right people to guide you, you're going to have less emergencies and more happy faces, guys. There's a lot of knowledge, experience that we possess that we've learned on other deals to ensure that you and your best interests are always kept in mind. On to the next one. Myth, 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 myth. This is a myth, guys. Condo associations aren't just easygoing, carefree lifestyles. You have to do your research. Always, when you buy a condo, request the condo covenants. Understand all the rules, what kind of car you can park there, what kind of pets you can have. You want to request the minutes of meeting. You want to see if that board knows what the heck they're doing. You also want to request the financials. You want to see, are there any delinquencies, any special assessments coming up? What's going on exactly? Because if all these red flags come up, don't buy that condo. Hiring the right realtor will guide you to the next one. Come on. Hope you enjoyed this episode of the Mythbusters edition of the Simaan Group. Just like this cowboy behind me, he was responsible for wrangling cattle, making sure they got safely to their destination at the ranch. Hiring the right realtor like myself, I will make sure you have the smoothest as ice real estate transaction you ever have. But before you call me, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification button to see other videos on my channel. Every home has a story. Let us tell yours. Until then, woo! Giddy up, cowboy.